In the Pits is partnered with the Splat Zone Trinity 3-Man Paintball Series. The series, put on by Splat Zone Indoor Paintball, offers a fun and competitive opportunity for tournament play for players of all experience levels. Beginner, Division 5, and Open 3v3 X-Ball gives all players a chance to gather two friends and have some fun. Are you a beginner interested in playing, but worried your setup won't be competitive? Not to worry, Splat Zone will have several setups on hand for beginner division players if needed. The series is even investing in bringing my personal ref crew from outside the Houston area, guaranteeing that your experience that day will be run smoothly and fairly. Registration is live now for the season opener on Sunday, May 25th, so grab two friends and get signed up today. In the Pits is partnered with BEM Wraps. Behind every mask is a unique and creative player. Tap into it when you order your next custom headpiece. Their Build-A-Band lets you communicate with them one-on-one to make your order just the way you want, all the way down to the color of the stitch. Check out their Instagram at BEMWraps for drops and build videos of them working on orders. They offer very competitive pricing, so reach out today to get started on your own one-of-a-kind headpiece. In the Pits is partnered with 71 Designs. Owned and operated by veteran Wade Martin, and partnered with fellow Texas brand Compete. 71 Designs can take your ideas for soft goods, merchandise, and casual wear and make them a reality. Message 71 Designs on Facebook or Instagram to get started today. In the Pits is partnered with QBR. Are you seeking to heal and recover from the toll that paintball puts on the mind and body? QBR has the solution for you. Head to QBRofficial.com and use code PITS10 for 10% off of your order, plus free shipping. QBR, they don't sell broccoli. In the Pits is partnered with XTPL Events. The Extreme Tournament Paintball League is a series put on by the Lukow family of Paintball Fit fame that gives the opportunity for players to learn and grow together as a team. 3-Man, Challengers and Champions X-Ball, Draft Mech X-Ball, Super 7s, U3v3, even Glow-in-the-Dark Mech X. There's something for everyone at XTPL. Not to mention prize tosses, raffles, and the infamous paintball munching contest. Events happen throughout the year, and the prizes never disappoint. Sign up for an XTPL event today on PB Leagues. In the Pits is partnered with Hydra. Designed by players for players, you can outfit yourself in Hydra gear from head to toe. Have confidence that when you make a purchase from Hydra, you are purchasing a well-tested and well-thought-out product, trusted by several top teams, including World Cup Pro Champions Paintball Fit. I personally recommend their Hydra Black knee pads. Purchases over $100 receive free shipping. Head to hydra.fit to browse their selection and discover the Hydra mentality. In the Pits is partnered with Texas Pro player Jared Sherman. In a world where saving time means making money, Jared's local seed bank is making waves in Texas, carrying a large assortment of Texas-approved varieties for use in the Texas Hemp Program, seeds for novelty use, as well as premium genetics bred for solventless extraction. Jared Sherman has the ability to satisfy even the most sophisticated collectors. Head to his website and use code INTHEPITS for 10% off of your orders. In the Pits is partnered with Mariachi Águilas de Oro. Based in Austin and servicing the surrounding areas, these Golden Eagles will bring life to any event you are having, from birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, corporate events, or even a simple performance to enjoy. Guillermo Padilla, one of their trumpet players, is also a member of the Texas paintball scene. Visit them on Facebook and Instagram to check out some of their past performances, or give them a call to book them for your event today. In the Pits is partnered with the San Antonio 3v3 Paintball Series. The series provides local players with an affordable, fun opportunity to experience the excitement of tournament paintball and has already seen events sell out. I personally am the head referee for the series, and I can't wait to see you there. Visit SAT3v3.com for details on upcoming events, or head to PB Leagues to register your team today. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot is a local Texas videographer with numerous events experience filming on the Major League Paintball Pro field. Needing coverage for an upcoming event? Message him at getdat_shot on Instagram and let him know In the Pits sent you. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message @PaintballKumite on Instagram. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 145 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and new special guest. I'm Christian Dallas Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans. And this episode, we're going to preview the upcoming USXBL JT Open and give our predictions for the event. Just like before, I am once again joined by my good friend from After the Buzzer, Robert Jordan. Robert, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine, and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. I'm starting to look forward to doing these event previews. It's really fun to get to say everybody's name, give our predictions, good old speculation. And there's, admittedly, there's a little bit less research that sometimes that I do with these, because now that I'm like getting more and more familiar with these teams, I can just take one look and I'm like, oh yeah, they'll probably beat this other team, or they've been struggling a little bit, or like knowing about some of the roster moves in the background. It's fun to speculate on this weekend, and really just looking forward to some really good paintball.
Yeah, me too. Mine is not so much speculation; it's just good old fashioned guessing. I'm just like shut my eyes and like, yeah, okay, because that's about how well my average is. Because they always make a liar out of me, but I do get to see a lot of exciting paintball, which is a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. We already got some love for you from some of our regulars. Ray says, Robert Jordan, the voice of Texas paintball.
Hey, Ramondo.
I don't disagree.
Well, I don't know if I'm the voice of anything. I'm probably like one of the few people that they could, loop into doing it full time. But I really enjoy it. It's to me, it's the next phase because I'm old now. I can't get out there and run with these kids no more. So I like to be able to still be around it. It gets my paintball fix.
Yeah, and it's an important job, too, with a region as large as we have. I mean, this event has 98 teams. That is the largest USXBL event that we've ever had. Yeah,
it's steadily growing. We haven't quite yet caught up to the WC, but that is our goal. That's my goal is, I love my boss, Mike, man, but I really want to be able to stand on that field one day and say, look at here, we're bigger, because everything's bigger in Texas. And that's the goal.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can say that everything's better in Texas too, because I'm a little bit tired of seeing these Florida teams go home with our money.
Last year it was a team from Arizona, and then it was like, Florida, I'm kind of really putting all my eggs in a basket here and hoping that Texas is like, hey, we're growing, we're getting better, we're drawing better teams. I will say this, the out-of-state teams are no joke. Mm-hmm. They're 100% really, you take a look at them and you go, those guys don't look like Texas paintball players. Well, guess what? They win.
Yep. Yep, definitely. I think after the last event, hopefully the Texas teams have been humbled a little bit and been really grinding, getting ready for this one. So, speaking of that last event, let's talk about it. So this question is brought to us by the XTPL events. So just to recap the JT Open for USXBL, looking at the results and the standings, and I'm actually going to share my screen here just because I have it up on my other screen. Let's see. Here we go. And let's add this to the stage. There we are. So, looking at the results for the Elite Division, we've got the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army, of course, taking the win, followed by Grit, Elite Audio, Video, and Lighting, and TKO with the top four. And then rounding out the quarterfinals teams, you got the Titans, Balls Out, Outlaw Anodizing, and the Beefy Boys. So, Robert, was there anything from the JT Open that surprised you as far as the Elite Division went?
Yeah, it was. I was really surprised by the number one, not to throw rocks, but I was surprised that the Texas Titans, played so well in the prelims, and the one stumble. And again, when you get to those things, that one stumble, it wasn't by any means a blowout, but I was really looking for them to play for the finals. The way they were playing the prelims, I thought, their tickets punched. I was also surprised by Gulf Coast Ragtag Army because, again, they were criminally deceptive. They didn't really look that sharp. I mean, they were finding ways to win, but they didn't look that sharp. And then, again, goes to show you what I know. They come up and win it all.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that we were disappointed in ourselves even more than some of the fans were. I think even after Atlantic City, that's 3 quarterfinals exits in a row for the Texas Titans. So we've definitely got some work to do. I know we've been humbled a little bit, but man, that it just goes to show you that no matter what happens in prelims, it really doesn't matter when you get to Sunday ball, because all it's about is just finishing the match +1.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I've always heard through my whole paintball career was, what you do in the prelims, you can't do on Sunday because you got to find that next gear. Because by that time, everybody knows the fields. You're well scouted, and you can't just keep doing the same old things. And I saw a lot of teams, not necessarily y'all, but I saw a lot of teams just doing the same old thing they did the first 2 matches. And you saw how they took early exits.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Division 4. So we have the Gunners continuing their domination. They had the win in Tampa, and then they came back and took it home again at the first USXBL. Then you got OKC Mutiny, LA Extreme D4, and Elite Hate Crew rounding out the top 4 with the Gunners second line, the GNL Crew, PB Gateway V2, Countdown City, and LA Extreme rounding out the top 8. So how about Division 4 for you for the last one?
Not surprised by the Gunners. I mean, again, it goes to show you what having a quality coach will do. Somebody that'll crack the whip and make people jump through, do what they know they can do, because he doesn't allow them to be, play easy. I was surprised by the Hate Crew coming up and made a really good showing. So I think this division is going to be pretty much wide open once you get past the Gunners, but I don't see anybody knocking them off their throne.
Well, we'll see. I think that all you do when you keep winning is you keep painting a bigger and bigger target on your back. So I think if it wasn't the case before, the Gunners are certainly going to get everybody's best match.
Oh yeah, that's the Super Bowl in D4. The Gunners, every game is everybody else's final.
Mm-hmm. And like you were saying on your show earlier this week, matchups matter. So we'll definitely be breaking down the prelim brackets that everybody drew. And I know that the schedule is not quite out yet, which complicates things as far as the elite division, with those being 17 brackets. But we're definitely going to be talking about some of these prelim matchups. For me, the biggest surprise I want to say is actually in 7th place, Countdown City, which has been a team together for quite a while now. I think they're in year 3, and they seem to start really figuring out how to play some team ball together with this quarterfinals win. They looked pretty solid.
Yeah, they looked kind of solid at the end of last year, and that was the thing, because you take that hiatus and everybody goes, will you continue on? Because, it's a muscle memory game. It's a perishable skill. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. They have still continued on. I think they're making progress. I think they're going to be a top 4 team, if not this event, before the next event. I really do think that they have the chance to be a top 4 team. But again, matchups matter, running teams versus shooting teams and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. One thing I want to highlight here, in the top 8, you've got, I think, 3 out of the top 8 are not Texas teams.
I know. And we got a team coming in this time from Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what does that say about your league when you pull people not just from, the next state over, but from, 2,000, 2,500 miles away?
Yep. It's definitely the spot to compete for sure. And everybody wants a piece. So,
yeah, they do.
So, yeah.
big stack of cash.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit briefly about D5. I know every year in Division 5, you've got new actors coming in. You've got unfamiliar team names. You've got other programs that are consistently getting their new players up to speed rather quickly, making appearances. So looking at D5, you had Sinister Paintball taking the victory with Elite Factory out of Lubbock, the runners up. And then you've got some names that you see in the higher divisions as well. You've got the Donut Shop Mafia, you've got Elite Dynasty, the Meanies, which is a very large program up in the North Dallas area. They had a pretty solid showing with the Meanie 71. And then you've got Aggression, Austin Oni Gold, and the Corrupt Crew out of New Mexico rounding out the top 8.
Yeah, and I was really surprised that Austin Notorious FSU had fallen out of the top 8. I know it's the new guys, but usually Mr. Franz has those guys up to speed playing team ball. Look for them to move up quickly. Also, the Meanies also, they have a Houston branch. I mean, they're just bulling in so many people, but really Elite Factory, the Donut Shop Mafia, D5, and Elite Dynasty probably are going to continue on with their winning ways.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll definitely get into our picks. So looking here in the chat, talking about the out-of-state teams, Casual Call says the out-of-state teams winning invite more out-of-state teams to try and sign up, which I think that usually the teams that are traveling all this way to compete in a regional league in another state usually means they've got their act together as a team.
Absolutely. I don't think people are going to sit there and plunk down money to go play beer league paintball halfway across the country. So teams that can afford to travel usually mean they weeded through the wannabes and got to the have to be. So yeah. And I'm torn here because the Texan in me, wants our guys to win. But the guy that, likes to watch quality paintball, I love seeing different teams come in here to play. So it's not just, the Titans versus the Beefy Boys and Shut Up We're Trying versus Elite every single time. It gives us different looks, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, this question is brought to us by QBRofficial.com. So like I said before, we have 98 teams in this event, which is the largest that we've ever had as far as the USXBL goes. And this is also going to be the first USXBL event that is held at Giant Party Sports. So do you have any news to tell us as far as like how the setup is looking? Anything new or exciting to expect over there?
All I know for sure is that a little over a month ago, they had a horrible windstorm. It wrecked the fields, the nets, the poles, and Mark Johnson, Billy Saransky, and their whole crew have busted their ass to get that place back in shape. It is back in shape and ready to go. As far as the layout or anything, the way it's going to be set up, man, Mike is being super, super mum about that because there's been people trying to figure out the layout, trying to sneak out there and see things. There was even reports, of other shenanigans going on. But so I don't have anything other than, we'll all know Friday morning.
All right. Yeah. And also one thing that we saw at the last event was joining you up in the commentators booth. You had a special guest up there with you. We had Chris Lasoya making the trip over, which I'm sure was just a dream come true on your end.
It was absolutely probably one of the best paintball experiences I've ever had. And Chris is an acquired taste for a lot of these younger guys, right? But I've known him off and on, for years. But to actually sit down and get to spend time with him and talk about things and pick his brain, one-on-one, even on air, was amazing. It truly was. And again, that just goes back to showing the boss. Man, my boss, just said, hey, you want this? We're going to make it happen. Great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that toward the start of the year, Mike Hinman hinted at having a legend up in the booth with you for every event. Do you know, is that going to continue to be a trend for the rest of the year, or?
That right now is up in the air. It's being worked on, but some things have fallen through or whatever's, I'm not sure about whatever goes behind, mostly because Mike likes to surprise me because he's a bit of a, he's a bit of a prankster, so he doesn't want to tell me to the last minute. So, but I did hear from another source that some things had fallen through. So it's just, I don't know. I'm not trying to tap out anything here, but I just don't know.
All right, fair enough. Well, if we want to keep things a surprise, then I certainly don't want to spoil the surprise here. So
I do.
If you know something. If you know something, then keep mum's the word for a little bit. All right. So moving forward, we're gonna do what we did last time. We're gonna be talking about the brackets in each division. We're gonna go through all of the teams, and we're going to give a shout out to every single player on every single roster. So, strap in for this one, y'all. So starting off, let me make sure I get my screen share back here. There we go. All right. So we're starting off in Division 5. In Bracket A, we've got the winners. We got Sinister Paintball. We got Gunners 187, Austin FSU D5, Low Expectations, and North Texas Shannon. So just to talk about the rosters before we talk about how we think this bracket's going to go down, on Sinister Paintball, we've got Mark Boyd, Mason Cheshire, Simon Duperre, Rolando Garcia, D'Amico Minhares, Michael Monterrubio, Hunter Padilla. Oh, can y'all not see that? Let me share this tab instead. There we go. I got to read what's on my screen here. Michael Monterrubio, Hunter Padilla, and Tristan Talbot. So, Robert, you know anything about these guys?
I am not familiar with Sinister. I didn't see them until the last event. They just kind of came up out of me. I didn't get a chance to make it out of the booth when they won. I didn't get to even talk to them at the award ceremony because I was still calling games in another part of the thing. So I really don't have a lot on these guys, but I do know that when they were playing their final match on the field, man, they seemed ready for the next step. That layout worked to their team advantage. They were really good.
All right. And of course they won the last one. So look for them to try and make it back to back. Up next, we got the Gunners 187 out of X Factor Paintball in San Antonio. You got Jorge Areola, John Butler, Giovanni Delgado, Chris Gonzalez, Luke Lopez, Bobby McBee, Daniel Smith, Brian Sweet, and Gio Velez. And on staff, let's see if I can get it to go all the way down. We got Brian Padilla, Corey Sepulveda, Jeremy Schumach, and Jesse Stevens on their staff. So again, the Gunners had great success in Division 4 at the last one. Let's see how the D5 team does.
Yeah, I think any team that's connected with Jeremy Shoemaker and Jesse Stevens, I think really, I think they're going to do good. I don't think there's anything else they can do but good.
Definitely. All right, I got to remember to click the share this tab instead because I got all the rosters open on different tabs and I keep thinking that y'all can see it. So up next we've got Austin FSU D5. Share this tab instead. There we go. Got a light line going into this one. You've got Michael Bradshaw, Eric Brown, Paul Goins, Steven Gonzalez or Seven Gonzalez, Brian Lester, and Gabriel Steins with Mark Senior and Marquis Franz on staff. So 6-man line, definitely doable in D5 where it's a Mercy 3 8-minute match. But yeah, 6 bodies. You better be firing on all cylinders because there's not really anybody else to back you up if you're not getting it done.
Yeah, I think they're going to put a saddle on Seven Gonzalez, and I think they're going to ride him really, really hard. He's one of the younger, more athletic guys, and you're probably going to have Marquis Franz right in his ear all the time telling him, go, 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 go. They're just not used to losing in Austin FSU. So I really look for this to be a turnaround for them.
I agree. Up next, we've got Low. Wait, is this the right thing? Let me double check. Yeah, Low Expectations. Also out of X Factor, we've got Colin Bowman, Jesse Luan, David Mejia, Christopher Moncada, Logan Peralta, Dante Perez, Nathaniel Reyes, and Wayne Warsham with Christian Gonzalez on their staff. So low expectations. They're not out of X Factor. They're out of Paintball Nights. I got to correct that. Yeah, Robert, what are your expectations for low expectations here?
I'm really. It depends on how much they're going to let Dante Perez play. He's one of their better players, and so I feel like depending on how the matchups go, that you have a chance to probably maybe catch one of the wild card things. I really think they have a shot.
All right. And the last team, we got North Texas Santa. I don't believe they were at the first event. You've got Devin Amsterdam, Maximus Bays, Ernest Manning. Oh, share this tab instead. There we go. Ernest Manning, Kellen McCormick, Nathaniel Medeiros, Matt Naby, Ricky Ramirez, Chasen Valle, and Cameron Warder Dickinson out of Louisville, Texas, out of Giant Party Sports. So this is going to be a home field event for them.
Yeah, they're. I've seen them practice a few times, and they run hot and cold. But I can't not root for a team that has somebody named Ricky Ramirez. I mean, that just sounds like a star's made name right there. So I'm gonna be secretly pulling for them really, really hard.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, just a reminder that this segment, the Division 5, is brought to us by the San Antonio 3v3 series. And the next event, which is titled Hot Texas Summer or Hot Paint Summer, is in, I think, 2 weeks. It's going to be 2 weeks after the USXBL, because I know next week we've got the Splat Zone 3-man over in Houston. So we've got USXBL and then Splat Zone and then the San Antonio 3v3 all back to back to back. So go get signed up today.
Yeah, paintball in Texas is starting to boom.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and move on to bracket B, which, again, y'all strap in for this, because this whole episode, we're going to give everybody a little bit of spotlight here. Share screen, and I'm going to get my act together here on presentation. There we go. So bracket B, we've got Elite Factory, Texas Easy Company, Houston Zone, Lady Meanies, and Splat Houston. So first with Elite Factory, coached by Chris Vandevald, you've got Joe Betancourt, Sam Chapler, Cummins Cole, Shelby Cortez, Logan Crenshaw, Cash Dupree, Memphis Fulgham, Justin Jones, Levi Martinez, and Logan McDougall, with Doug Bryant and Jason Crenshaw on staff.
Yeah, buddy. I'm quite familiar with this elite team with Levy Martinez, Logan Crenshaw, and Joe Betancourt. Yeah, this team's going to be one of the teams competing at the end of this thing. They're going to be in the top 4 for sure, and I think they have a shot at taking it all. I mean, they're going to Chris is going to have these guys wired up, and Logan Crenshaw plays a lot of paintball. So, again, put a saddle on him and ride him to the winner circle.
I think something I want to highlight as well with Chris as their coach. Chris has been manning the clipboard a lot more this year. He's also been coaching the Maxed Factory team in the NXL in Division 3. And, yeah, he's just been coaching more and more, getting that combined with his many years of on-the-field experience. I think this team is very well led, especially for Division 5.
I agree. Chris is also, I think he's player coaching, whatever else, the other elite team in the elite division. So, again, he's just everywhere for them.
Yeah, definitely. Up next, we got Texas Easy Company. We've got Seth Catchpool, Matthew Che, Cameron Dudley, Rakib Elahi, Jacob Geist, Halen Hernandez, Garrison Coleman, and Matt Pace, with John Winters on staff out of Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Matt Pace, obviously well known for a D5 player, or at least I know of him, and Jacob Geist. I believe both of those players the team's going to go how those two people go. But again, it's going to be depending on matchups. Let me see who else is in this bracket. Well, they got Houston Zone and Elite Factory, so it's going to be a tough one for them. So maybe, they'll probably try to be looking for something along the lines of maybe a wild card. Just depends on how Houston Zone shows up.
Definitely. All right. Up next, speaking of, we do have Houston Zone with Hugo Belmaras, Doc Hughes, Jesse Macias, Jeff Navia, Andy Nira, Trenton Valdez, Dean Widholm, and Scott Wolter.
Yeah, these guys, they're all pretty new to the zone thing. I mean, there's a couple of guys that's been around for a while, but not real long. It's just going to be which Houston Zone team shows up. Is it going to be the guys that practice the big guys and, are not afraid? Or is it going to be the guys that take the 5 back bunkers and just try to roll their guns for a while? They do have shooters, but again, what's the field going to look like? And is it going to be complementary to their style of play?
That's the question everybody's asking right now. What is the field going to look like? Because we've definitely seen some wild ideas out of the USXBL.
And I'm really surprised because usually by now I've seen a preview of the field, like so that I can kind of get my thoughts together about, what I'm going to name things and how I'm going to call it. But so far, nothing.
All right. Up next, we've got the Lady Meanies. Out of Fate, Texas, we've got Annie Burge, Carly Collins, Cheyenne Gutierrez, Heather Linero, Kira Little, Tiffany Morris, Leanne Passmore, Caitlin Riggs, and Kaylin Risley.
Yeah, now these ladies here, I'm familiar with about half of them quite well. Cheyenne, I've played many a tournament with her. She's making her way back to after taking a hiatus for a while. Kira Light is just coming into her own this last year, playing out there with some of the 3-man stuff and some of the practice a lot with the Vibe girls. And then Caitlin Riggs, again, that's another one. I don't know if these girls are all cohesive right now because we have some people like Cheyenne that play really well. And then we have some people that are still a little tentative. And that's not a knock on them. Everybody's got to learn. But I think that they're going to surprise some people. If you take them lightly, I think you're going to have somebody up there shooting the crap out of you because nothing's more vindictive than a woman.
I can tell you that we've seen some of these ladies down at the San Antonio 3v3 series playing in the 3v3, but we'll see how they do in the D5 X Ball, which is a big jump up format-wise. Are they going to have their pits together? Are they going to be ready for the fast turnarounds that X Ball demands?
I know that since they are the lady meanies, all the men meanies, for lack of a better thing, Wade will have everybody, at least some form of pit crew there. Now, will it be organized? Will they be, everything run smooth? Not sure. It's really going to depend on who's going to be captain in this or who's going to be calling the plays.
Yeah, for sure. Ray here in the chat says we played them last tournament and they were on it. All right. Well, if you're giving them that high praise, then I've got some pretty big expectations out of this group.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Because that there's some, like I said, I played many a tournament with Cheyenne, and I'm so happy that she's back. She's gotten healthy. She's dropped some weight. She got into a workout program because she wants to make paintball a big part of her life again. So I'm 100% behind these girls, and I hope to see them move up.
Same here. All right. Lastly, in this bracket, we've got Splat Houston with Nicholas Jimenez, Matthew Martinez, Ivan Pororosini, Joel Quintanilla, Vandy Reith, Victor Romero, and Jaybird, Jonathan Salas, stepping into the ring on this one.
Yeah, I have not seen these guys play that I can put my finger on and remember. And I know they win the last name contest because right there, Ivan, I don't even know how you attempted that one. But again, I love to see teams that I'm not familiar with come up. I love to kind of be a blank canvas and watch and just let them show me who they are without any expectations. So, and I will be watching these guys.
Absolutely. All right. So up next, we've got bracket C and D5, and I do want to let's see how fast we can get through this because we have a lot of teams and a lot of players. We have 98 teams to get through on this. So up next, we've got the Donut Shop Mafia D5, Shut Up They're Trying, Texas Rampage, FTW Shannon, and Team Blank Black. So starting off, the Donut Shop Mafia out of El Paso. You've got Ivan Apodaca, Ruben Astorga, Chris Cintron, Alexandro Garcia, Abram Loya, and Alex Vega.
Yeah, and this is another one of those Donut Shop Mafia teams. They practice all together with the elder team. I think that they're probably going to be one of the more organized teams. But what's going to be puzzling is the Donut Shop Mafia elite team did not make this trip. So how much of their support staff will be here, that'll be, I think, a key factor.
Definitely. And they are, the top seed in their bracket. So we'll see if that is going to play a significant factor in how they operate. Up next, we've got Shut Up They're Trying out of Dallas, Texas, of course, coached by Jerry Phillips. You've got Brandon Baca, Jeremiah Betancourt, Ryan Coker, Jack Collier, Alexander Ismaili, Antonio Jimenez, Malachi Montgomery, and Kellen Siney.
Yeah, and these guys practice all the time at it fit. They're a staple out there. Ryan Coker, Jack Collier, man, that's going to be some of the guys. But Jerry Phillips always has his teams ready. It's just this is going to be the D5 guys. They practice with the D3 guys all the time. But we'll see if they can keep it all together and how much Jerry's going to be pulled between all the different areas he's got to go.
Yeah, definitely. That is a very large program that he manages.
It is.
Yeah, here in the chat, Jack C is filthy in the snake and ready for a win for sure. Thank you, P-Butt.
Oh, there's OP. That's my secret code word.
I love it. All right. Up next, we've got Texas Rampage out of Waxahachie, Paintball Fit. You got Ricky Bliss, Jared Brooks, Maddox Brooks, Cooper Daniel, Malachi Federson, Drew Hernandez, Jeremy Liddick, and Ramiro Ortiz. What can you tell us about them?
These guys, again, you're going to ask an old man that uses memory, but I think the thing on these guys was the last event, they were a little bit penalty heavy. Just like a new D5 team would be, right? So I think that's the one thing they have to clean up. I think they played well. We're in every match, ready to go. It was just a little bit penalty heavy, and I think that's what we just see if they can get that cleaned up, and I think they'll move up.
Well, you cannot get anything. You cannot get away with one under the ref crew that Mike Henman regularly brings in.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, I always hear this year after year, man, we need better refs. Well, you got to show them to me because we hire the best refs out there or the best refs that are willing to come ref. I know everybody thinks they're better at it. Well, you know what? We're hiring. So come on.
Yeah, please, if you are think you can do better, I think everybody should have to ref at least a 3-man. I think personally it makes you better at the game. And just having that knowledge of what it takes to be a referee and knowing that, hey, there are oftentimes more referees on the field, at least in the pro division and the NXL and the Major League Paintball, there are more referees on the field than there are players. That's how difficult of a job it is.
Yeah, it's ridiculously hard. I've been a ultimate ref, a head ref, a field ref, and a corner ref from the MPPL to the CFOA to the original NXL. And I always learn something. You never quit learning, and it's an impossible job. And you think you kind of know what's going to happen, and then somebody does something you've never seen before. So,
yep. Oh, yeah. All right, moving forward, we've got FTW Shannon from Fort Worth, Texas. We've got Javier Chavez, Jared Gaudet, Kyle Casey, Thepvanen Mix. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we're just. I'm not even trying that one.
Yeah, the Vanen Lidmixe is my best chance at that. We got Christian Noon, Jacob Pokluda, and Christos Velis. So, them also out of Giant Party Sports, another home team.
Yeah, and this is another one of those sending teams that's just kind of filters in and out. They practice out of Giant, so I don't get a chance to see them much. I've seen Jacob Paducah. You got me too. But I think that They're probably ranked about where they probably should be, but again, matchups and field layouts make a difference. So we'll see.
Definitely. All right, last team in this bracket, we've got Team Blank Black, coached by Jory Privet, only running 5 players according to this roster. You got Michael Gaser, Marcus King, Timothy Morgan, Chris Odom, and Jared Wittenbaum. Is that?
That is him.
We're gonna do some research here live. Well, this is is it him? Because this is someone with a completely blank APPA, so I don't think it's the man.
No, it's not him. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was him because, I mean, he's hanging out with them before, but I know these guys. Jory goes and puts these guys together. Michael, I know very well. Marcus King, I know very well. I do not know the Chris Odom, obviously. So, again, these guys are going to be all gas, no brakes. They do have a really good pit crew, so maybe they'll do a little bit better this time. But they live and die by the sword.
All right, love to hear it. Porter says different Chris, same name. All right, thanks for the clarification there. And then, of course, shout out to staff member Ashley Hanks on that roster. So up next, we've got bracket D. We're almost through Division 5 here. We've got Elite Dynasty D5, Integrity D5, PB Gateway V3, Double Homicide, and the Donut Shop Mafia D5 Sprinkles. I love the name.
Man, that's a good one.
That's a very good one. I love part of the joy that I get of the 3-man or lower division is that you just get some of the most fun team names out there. Usually they're teams that are together for the first time or for the first year. The names are just so much fun. I love that the Sprinkles designation for one of your other lines.
Yeah.
All right. So getting to Elite Dynasty D5 out of Houston, Texas, you've got Adrian Barajas, Jake Burton, Tyler Godwin, Jorge Martinez, John Pyron, Tariq Kazi or Quasi, and Edison Ramirez with Brooks Price and Cameron Wilson on staff. This is the team that I believe took 4th. Yes, took 4th place at the last one.
Yeah, they took 4th and really had a chance to play for 1st and 2nd. Just a couple of stumbles right there at the last minute. I don't know if they gassed out, which seemed to be a problem at that last event where teams making the finals. There was a lot of people that shot all their torpedoes early on and just didn't have the legs for it. I'm not sure that's what happened to them, but again, they played very well and easily could have been a number 1 contender.
Yeah. Well, this event is not going to be forgiving as far as the weather goes, at least in Waxahachie. I'm seeing thunderstorms throughout the entire weekend. Hopefully that misses us up on the other side of Dallas. But I mean, here in Austin, yesterday and today was triple digits. So it's going to be a hot one, and you're going to need all of the legs that you can get.
Yeah, you're going to need to run a deep roster if at all possible.
Especially in Division 5, which is Sunday only.
Yeah, I mean, it's we're going to start early, and we're going to play until we're done. So it's a long day.
Definitely. All right, up next, we've got Team Integrity D5 out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Caleb George, Oliver Hebert, Michael Howard, Oakley Jones, Brock Kibido, Zachary Kyle, Drew Kyle, Zachary Leandry, Eric Newton, Isabella Parcels, and Evan Richard. Running with 11 on this one, which I think is a lot of bodies. But, I mean, given what we just said about the weather and doing the whole tournament in one day, you might need to go that deep in the bench.
Yeah, you might need to go that deep. And if you look at their roster, you can see there's a whole lot of real young people here. And I love to see this. I love to see teams bring in young people and everybody get their spins. Everybody gets to learn in a no pressure situation because, we're going to try our best to win, but it's obvious here there's a lot of new players with no APPA history whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Isabella Parcels on this roster, who she's playing her second event of this year. They were at the last USXBL as well. They finished 10th out of 20, and just 14 years old. competing in D5X-ball, which is a very difficult place to get your start.
And that's, and shooting that purple and black force. I mean, obviously she's committed. So, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Up next, we got PB Gateway V3, coached by Anton Nguyen. You've got Jacob Abitia, Patrick Alley, Gabriel Caro, Thien Mai, Logan McIntyre, Corey Peterson, Justin Russo, Sean Ryan, Ross Valet, and Parker Webb, with Cesar Carrillo and Pritcha Sritongsuk on staff out of Arlington, Texas. They play out of DFW Adventure Park and Giant Party Sports. So again, another home team here. Yeah,
that's another home team. And again, PB Gateway, all their different teams are just dedicated. The store puts a lot of sponsorship, a lot of support behind them. And they always seem to find, their main team is rebuilding this year because they lost some players, some of the key ones, Luke Staley being one of them. But their D5 team always seems to be running deep rosters and just feeding the upper teams as much as they can.
And it was a strategy that worked well for them last year. So
yeah,
we'll see how they do this one. Up next, we've got Team Double Homicide out of Houston, Splat Zone. You've got Ty Garcia Reed, Adrian Lopez, Adam Lopez, Angel Montalvo, Caleb Musler, Jesus Oliveras, and Isabella Salgado, with Christian Cavazos, Alex Perez, and Kyle Wren on staff.
Boy, this one's going to have to be a you thing because I don't know these guys at all. But again, it's another young team, very young faces, very low APPA.
Oh, my goodness. Speaking of young, we've got, Isabella Salgado. I just checked her profile page. She's definitely going to need a parent to sign her waiver. Let's say that. She is coming in at the age of 11.
11. Wow, man. That's awesome. That's a rough way to learn, man. But hey, props to her, right?
Oh, yeah. It looks like this whole team is actually definitely pretty young. Let's see. 11, 16, 12, 21. Oh, we got 34. But and then Adam, Adrian, and Ty, let's see, 18, 13, and 12. So, man, you're talking youth. This team has got it in spades.
Yeah, they do. So maybe they'll have the legs for it.
Sure hope so, because, man.
I want to try to get over to the other field and watch a couple of these games with these younger players on them. Because again, as one of the elder statesmen, as they put it, I really like to see these young kids come in and embrace the game that we all love.
Absolutely. I think this change that we've seen in our community over the last 2, 3, 4 years, all of these kids, all of these, young women also, and women and girls coming into play, which is like, shoot, I remember it was like unheard of even to see like a single female player at one of these tournaments, let alone as many as what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I think that goes to prove that the WNXL experiment has proven to be a success.
Absolutely.
It's brought more women in. I mean, it really has.
I would 100% agree with that. Last but not least, we've got TDSM D5 Sprinkles with Isaiah Dungy, Andre Garcia, Kyle Garfield, Antonio Gonzalez, Aldo Martinez, and Ryan Urrutia.
Yeah, this is another one of those things where, we got a bunch of new players under the, Donut Shop Mafia banner. And again, one of them, let's see here, Aldo, I think he's probably one of the most experienced players with 3 events played. So, and one of them goes all the way back to 2018, so let's go. I mean, obviously not regular competitors, but we're going to see what they can do.
Yeah, and again, they're part of an organization that is well-established, well-organized, and that usually is a sign of them learning the ropes much faster than their counterparts.
Exactly. I mean, they got somebody to show them the correct way, or at least the Donut Shop Mafia way. So that's great.
100%. All right. So getting to our final bracket in Division 5, Bracket E, we've got a 16 bracket. We've got the Meanie 71, Austin Oni Gold, Team Blank, Cutthroat, 210 Countdown, and VMJ19. Let's start with Let's see, VMJ19, is that veteran militia or am
Yes,
I mistaken?
that is out of Hunt County Paintball.
Okay.
That is part veteran militia, and Team J19 is a religious quote because the owner of Hunt County Paintball is a very religious person, so it's kind of a combination team.
Love it. All right, let's start with the meanies here. We've got Brian Blassingame, Billy Elmore, Jordan Elmore, Jalen Lilly, Christopher Smith, Chris Weatherford, Carson Weatherford, and AJ Woodyard.
Wow. Now, AJ, Team Danamus, used to be part of the J19 program. Kind of funny. Chris Weatherford and his son Carson used to be part of a team out of Official Paintball, and they've split for them. Jordan Elmore, another one, took a hiatus. Him, his dad, Bill Elmore, used to run North Texas Shockwave, for all you people that want to look back.
Oh, there's a name.
Yeah, that was Bill. That was his team, and Jordan used to play for him. Jordan's recently, again, one of those people that dumped a lot of weight trying to get healthy, and they know how to shoot the guns. So I really look forward to this team doing something in the D5, level.
All right. Sweet. Up next, we've got Austin Oni Gold, coached by Tanner Monson. We've got Jordan Avila, Sergio Avila, Joshua Bernhard, Joseph Black, Talon Bourne, Jaden Boynton, Landry, Casey Moore, Dre Helms, and Jose Perez, with Mark Hernandez, Scott Lopez, everybody's favorite Lasro Lopez, and Ben Rogers on staff.
Yeah, and this is another one of those Austin Oni teams. And again, they have several, again, just like Shut Up or just like the Donut Shut Mafia and all the other teams. This is a very large program. Austin Oni Gold is about consistently, last year was about middle of the road, but they have some new blood. So let's see if they can get some little further up the chain.
Definitely. One thing I can tell you about these guys is that a large majority of these players are pretty regularly playing, not just on the weekends, but also at Wednesday night ball over at Outlaw Paintball. So they're taking this pretty seriously in order to try and get better.
That's great. I love to see people that are willing to do more than just hey, let's go out here and play games on Sunday.
For sure. All right. Up next, we've got Team Blank out of Paradise, Texas, competing out of Paintball Fit. We've got Coach Billy Blaine. You've got players Phoebe Blaine, Andre Figueroa, Harrison Gray, Jessica Maidlow, Chelsea Summers, and Damian Wood, with Stacy Cox on staff. So 6 players and a very long day ahead of them.
Yeah, and Phoebe plays with the Dallas Dolls regularly. Mm-hmm. Jessica and Chelsea play with the Beefy Babes in 3-man. So they're trying to make that transition up into X-Ball, right? So Jory said, hey, you know what? I got some guys out here. Billy Blaine's an old teammate of mine, used to play for BK Omen and the Old Fat Ninjas. So they got some knowledge there. But again, there's a lot of green people out here. So let's see how they do.
Definitely.
They do have the best pit boss in the world, though. Stacy Cox, that girl right there is a general. She does not play. Their pit will be 100% perfect. Trust me.
Well, I mean, having someone who is well versed in the pit definitely is a huge advantage when it comes to Division 5, where a lot of people are still trying to learn the format, learn what the clock feels like, learn the procedures. It's a huge advantage that can't be understated.
Well, she will run that thing, I mean, like nobody's business. It's a well-oiled machine. She brings her own help, her own tools. I mean, she just shows up. And that's the one thing you don't have to worry about with Team Blank.
For sure. All right. Up next, we've got Cutthroat out of Fort Worth. You've got Max Finstead, Christopher Hall, Alex Marquez, Cheyenne Maynard, Corey Maynard, Layla Maynard, Jose Ortiz, Kurt Romero, Artai Simmons, Daniel Smith, and James Smith. Man, this is a lot of family members all competing together. You've got and it looks like you got 2 sisters and dad here. That's something I just love to see.
Yeah, Corey brings his daughters to the field. They've been a part of his team, a lot of 3-man for a few years. And then you got Chris Hall over here, who's just basically, a ne'er-do-well and kind of a half-assed bum. because, I'm just saying that because I love him to death. He's a really good guy. But yeah, and then the Smiths, both the Smiths. So again, a lot of family here. They just do it for the experience, the fun, try to have a good time. Love it.
That's exactly the kind of environment that I would want to be around. I love it. All right. Up next, we've got 210 countdown out of X Factor in San Antonio. You've got Trevor Bettis, Nathaniel Coronado, Adrian Duran, Aiden Duran, Aiden Homier, Rylan Homier, Alexander Matuk, and Finn Zaruto, with Paul Homier, Zach McIntyre, and Jimmy Roman on staff.
Wow. I've seen 210 countdown. I don't know him that well, but I've seen him play in like the XTPL and the previous USXBLs. They do really well, but again, Countdown City, 210 Countdown, that's all pretty much same family, if I'm correct. So, but I don't know where they're going to wind up this time because I don't get down to X Factor that much.
I can tell you they have definitely been practicing together quite frequently as part of their entire program. It's Mills. No, we have not gone over D3 and D4 yet. D4 is up next. So yeah, they practice together with the entire program, but we'll see how they do on this one. So getting to VMJ19 out of Greenville, Texas, you've got Jose Aguilar, Jesse Connor, John J. Irwin, Josh Evans, Mac McKenzie, Misty McKenzie, Paul Martinez, Tim Michael, Sean Riles, and Nicholas Sunderland.
Yeah, Nicholas is an old teammate of mine. He plays on my scenario team. Kind of new to the X-Ball thing. He's been playing that way for about a year. Eric Mac McKenzie owns Hunt County Paintball and his wife, Misty. And again, he's very, very old school, very much into the communication thing. Everything's military based. So they're going to do kind of well. They missed the last cut last time by just like a body or two, like every game. I mean, they were like right on the bubble. So they've added a couple people, and I think they're going to get over the hump and at least be competitive to make at least in the wild card.
All righty. Fair enough. So that gets us through all of our brackets here for all of our teams for Division 5. Now let's talk about the brackets. Let's give our predictions. So this is brought to us here by the BEM Raps. So now that we know a little bit more about some of these Division 5 teams, Robert, let's go ahead and give here, let's see. Does it say how many teams are going to move on from each bracket? It does not. So let's just give the top 2 out of each bracket here. So let's start with bracket A. I'm going to go with the Gunners, and I'm going to go with Sinister Paintball here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same too. It's too hard to go against those two programs, Sinister because they won and Gunners because of Jesse Stevens and the program they come from. It's just too hard.
Definitely. All right, up next, you've got Elite Factory, Texas EC Company, Houston Zone, Lady Meanies, and Splat Houston. I'm going to say give me Elite Factory and give me Houston Zone out of this bracket.
Yeah, me too, for the same reasons. Elite Factory, strong team, strong program, and then Houston Zone because of where they come from. I just don't see them not being ready for this.
Yeah, and before we continue, I know that after the last episode, it definitely fired some people up. So, yeah, if your name isn't being called in any of these brackets, well, go prove me wrong.
Yeah,
please. I want to see some great paintball on this one, and if I'm adding to some bulletin board material in your locker room, then by all means use it.
Yeah, same for me. I love nothing more than somebody coming up to me after the tournament and say, "You didn't pick me, and here, stick this in your pipe and smoke it." I like that because I'm not telling you that I know everything because I don't. But you're going to have to prove me wrong.
All right. So up next, we've got the Donut Shop Mafia D5. Shut Up They're Trying. Texas Rampage, Fort Worth, maybe For the Win, Sannon, and Team Blank Black. This one's going to be a little bit tougher for me to pick. I still think Shut Up They're Trying is going to move on. Man, I think this could be a bracket with a lot of ties or a lot of teams going 2-2 here. I'm going to say Shut Up They're Trying, and man, this one's a tough one. You give me your picks and then I'll give you my second team.
I'm going to say Sit Up or Try is going to win the bracket, and I think the Donut Shop Mafia D5 is going to come in second.
All right. I think something tells me that Sandon's going to come out and surprise. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but that's where my gut's leading on this. So I'm going to go Shut Up and Sandon out of this bracket.
It could very well be Sandon because, again, they played a few games the last tournament. They were hot and cold. When they were hot, they were great. But when they wasn't, so let's see.
Next bracket, you've got, again, a lot of teams that are part of established programs. Elite Dynasty D5, Integrity D5, PB Gateway V3, Double Homicide, and the Donut Shop Mafia D5 Sprinkles. Give me Elite Dynasty. Give me PB Gateway V3.
Same for me, but I'm secretly going to be rooting for the Donut Shop Mafia D5 Sprinkles just because I love the name.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I hope they have donuts at the field. I would buy donuts. If you're on the Donut Shop Mafia and you have donuts, shoot me a message. I will come buy some donuts because I am a sucker for donuts.
Hey, just take a few out to the field with you and give them to the refs.
Yes.
Not saying it'll get you any extra love, but hey, those guys are working hard.
Definitely. Matt Hodges, we have not gone to the Elite Division. We're still on Division 5. There's so many teams.
Yeah,
there's almost 100 teams.
We're struggling here.
Yeah, we're doing our best. We're already an hour in, and we still got 2 more divisions to go. So up next, we've got the Meanie 71, Austin Oni Gold, Team Blank, Cutthroat, 210 Countdown, and VMJ 19. I'm going to give you the top 3 just because it's a 16 bracket. I don't know the top of my head what the wild card rules are. There might be 2 wild cards. So give me Austin Oni, give me Cutthroat, and give me the Meanies.
Oh, yeah. Austin Oni, Cutthroat, and the Meanies in that order.
All right. Fair enough. Cool. So that does it for Division 5. Now we're going to talk about D4, which is an incredibly competitive division. We've got 39 teams. And look at that. The bottom seed, 39th place, is the Texas Titans just because they didn't play the first one in D4. So this is going to be a rough day. Everybody involved.
This is going to be an all-out bloodbath because there's some really tough brackets here.
For sure. All right. So Division 4 coverage is brought to us by Mariachi Aguilas de Oro. We've got 39 teams to go through. We're gonna just speed through. Let's see if we can just save our comments from each for each roster, each bracket, just so we can get through everybody today. Before the clock strikes 12 here. Starting up with our defending champions, the Gunners, out of X Factor, San Antonio, Alabama. I don't know about that one, but coached by Jesse Stevens. You've got young Cameron Blanco making the jump, getting picked up by the Gunners. I think that's a great move. I know I just said that we're not going to make comments on this roster, but that's one I've got to highlight.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Next, you've got Antonio Fernandez, Tim McGregor, Nick McKenna, Rafael Rivera, Shane Scarborough, another great pickup, who I believe he played with the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army at the last one, so now dropping down to the Gunners, supporting a X Factor team where he plays out of. Then you've got Corey and Kelson Walker, and then, of course, you got Arthur Faison, Brian Padilla, Aaron Schull, and Brian Sweet on staff. Doing my best. I know they're the defending champs. I just gotta get through everybody. So up next, we've got Houston Homicide out of Houston. You got Raimundo Avelar, Tristan Broussard, Christian Cash Cavazos, Timothy Curtis, Noel Lopez, Cliff Shivers, and Kyle Wren, with Isaac Hernandez, Jesus Oliveras, and Alex Perez on staff. Up next, we've got Havoc. Man, this is a tough bracket. Havoc coming in as a 3 seed. You've got Donald Bynum, Kellen Jones, Cody Kipp, Tanner Pagel, Travis Patton, Diego Robinson, Ben Rogers, and Anthony Wisecup, with their coach, Jared Sherman. Up next, you've got Countdown City 210 out of X Factor, Julian Banda, Daniel Estrada, Jorge Garcia, Marco Hernandez. Oh, Marcus playing. What's up, man? Dorian Hernandez, Paul Homier, Isaiah Ibarra, Cesar Ortiz, and Robert Peterson with Andre Flores and Jimmy Roman on staff. And finally, you've got Elite Dynasty out of Houston. Guadalupe Aleman, Eduardo Conde, Colton Guerra, Roman Kropp, Marcus McClam, Victor Milan, Brooks Price, Terrence Williams, and Quentin Wilsford. So just give me your thoughts overall on the bracket. Not necessarily the picks, but just like the teams in here.
I think this bracket right here is going to be a lot harder than people think. I think there's some really, really good teams. I'm kind of really, after watching the last one, I'm kind of shocked that Havoc and Elite Dynasty are where they're at, because they play so well. So I'm really interested in this one.
One other thing I'll say is that 3 of these 5 teams play at X Factor.
Yes,
So
I know.
it's going to be there's going to be some history between these teams going in, and I think that's just more motivation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you always know you travel so far away and you play the same teams you practice against. So It's who's king of X Factor.
Oh, we're about to find out. Up next, we got Bracket B. We've got OKC Mutiny, Austin Assault, Outlaw Anodizing Green, The Meaties, and MBR. So OKC Mutiny. From Oklahoma, you've got Gabriel Cornwall, Jonathan Gilliand, Mitchell Higgs, DJ Hugginen, Jaden Miller, Jacob Thomas, and Zachary Wasser with Andy Burge, Dylan Fussell, Brittany Miller, and Kaylin Risley on staff. Next, we've got Austin Assault out of Outlaw Paintball in Pflugerville, coached by Connor Sanders. Got Matthew Bandow, Brandon Dismukes, Zach Hagee, Joel Hoffman, Brian McGrath, Matthew Odom, and Jordan Reese with Ashlyn Hoffman and Sean Serene on staff. Next, we've got Outlaw Anodizing Green, coached by Cedric Rios, formerly of Seattle Thunder. Luis Ayala, Jeremy Brown, Kyle Fink, Cooper Harrison, Henry Nabel, Trenton Martin, Tyler Middleton, Caleb Owens, John Schaff with Philip Middleton on staff. Next, we've got the Meanies with Leonardo Alvarez, Matt Bullion, Colby Klaus, Carson Martin, Wade Martin, Elijah McIntosh, Mark Mercer, Kevin Miller, Tristan Mundy, and Eric Nieto rounding out the roster. And finally, we've got MBR out of Edinburgh with Francisco Alatorre, Andrew Cuevas, Brian Frazier, Brian Garza, Mari Gutierrez, Brian Longoria, Austin Salazar, and Francisco Silva with Rafael Juarez, Hueli Leal, Elizabeth Martinez, and Jacqueline Moore. So give me your thoughts on Bracket B.
Man, this bracket is more deceiving than the first, but I do think this is probably going to be a 2-team bracket with a lot of ties, or at least 1-point games with the rest of them. I think everybody's going to be close, but I think it's going to be pretty much a 2-team bracket.
Yeah, for me, I think Bracket B is definitely not on paper as threatening as Bracket A was.
Nope.
But that there's going to be a lot of opportunity for some of these teams to really prove themselves and have that opportunity to make it into the playoff round.
Yeah, one of these teams up here drops the ball. The other 3 teams are really going to have such a huge opportunity to jump into Sunday paintball.
Definitely. All right. Up next, we got Bracket C. We've got LA Extreme D4, Austin Oni, Integrity, the Dragoons, and New Orleans Smoke. So starting off with LA Extreme out of Slidell, Louisiana, coached by Charles Dowden. You've got Neil Bourne, Josue Hernandez, Seth Lelou, Carson Pellerin, Conrad Pellerin, Gurjeet Sandhu, Quentin Q. Stevenson, and Colin Waltz. Up next, we've got Austin Oni out of Outlaw in Pflugerville, coached by Mikey Clough. You've got his boy Caleb Clough, Abel DeGuara, Wyatt Zerlaben, James Helfrich, Mark Hernandez, Corey Kirkland, Ryan Lyle, Caleb Marrero, Cody Reef, and Christian Steed with Sergio Avila, Jordan Avila, Laszlo Lopez, Tanner Monson, Jose Perez, and Benjamin Underwood on staff. Next, we've got Integrity, also out of Louisiana. Look at that, 2 Louisiana teams going at it in the same bracket. You've got Luke Hubert, Roland Johnson, senior and junior, Marcus Johnson, Rodney Jones, Corey Kyle, Damian Parcells, Cade Perry, Matthew Regira, and Matthew Thibodeau, with Thomas Adkins, Brandon Holland, and Monica Johnson on staff. Next, we've got the Dragoons. I will be coaching the Dragoons at this event.
What?
We've got Lionel Carbajal, Julian Cruz, Garrett Gamboa, Jacob Johnson, Hayden Mays, Corey Merck, Braylon and Brandon Moreno, and Tanner Schlatter out of X Factor in San Antonio. And finally, we've got New Orleans Smoke out of New Orleans, Louisiana. You got 3 Louisiana teams all in the same bracket. That's crazy. And you've got coached by Jeremy Cleveland Brown Miller, Austin Arguelles, Cesar Figueredo, Adrian Jackson, Blaine Purcell, Jared Fawn, Devin Plaisance, Taylor Smith, and DeVille Smith, with Garrett Moran on staff. You've got 3 teams coming out of Louisiana all in this bracket. What do you think?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the first bracket has all the X Factor teams. This bracket has all the Louisiana teams, and it's just strange that the way they finish out, because you know how they're ranked just by how you finished. You know, karma is a weird thing. I think we're going to see some interesting paintball.
Definitely. And we got to see in D4, are these teams getting ready for all of their games evenly, or is it just because, hey, I play at the same field as this team? Is that the one game that I have highlighted on my schedule? And are you going to be coming at all 4 of your prelim games with the same kind of energy?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, especially if you win a lot of practice games at your field by, you know, playing in the gray, and then you get out here and you're like, oh, I beat these guys all the time. Well, now that we have good paint and refs, let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. All right, bracket D, you've got Elite Hate Crew, Greed, TKO, New Mexico Bandits, Team Blank, and the Texas Titans. So starting off with Elite Hate Crew, you've got out of Lubbock, you've got Adrian Berry, Aaron Braziel, Riley Coffey, Ethan Lawhon, Todd Miller, Matthew Pinkham, Tristan Sykes, and Ashton Wright. Ashton Wright, a very interesting pickup. I believe he plays with Outlaw. Is he with Outlaw Anodizing, or is he with the Clutch City Oilers? Let me double check on that. He plays with the Clutch City Oilers over in Division 2. Also going to be representing Team USA this year.
Yeah, that's a real interesting pickup for the Elite Hate Crew.
Yeah, great pickup for them. Up next, you've got Greed with Jason Bonner, Landon Brown, Christopher Rivas, Anthony Rodriguez, Jason Sim, Lucas Weeks, and Logan Williams, with Scotty Allen, Jason Lamp. There's the Chris Odom that I was expecting to see earlier, and John Samuel. Yeah, I was going to say, like, isn't he in season right now? I don't think he's going to be playing in this one. So up next, you've got TKO out of Houston, Texas, with Chris Ballou, Ryan Croson, Brandon Cunningham, Edward Horbelt, David Howell, Pate Smith, Ryan Stewart, and David Suggs. Next, we've got the New Mexico Bandits out of Albuquerque, Mario Bugarello, Ryan Cianchetti, Matthew Kraft, Nathaniel Hughes, Brendan Kelly, Elijah Ortiz Ipino, Alex Perez, William Rodriguez, and Mike Ruiz, with Andrew Burns, Killian Caldwell, Caitlin Irvin, and Chris Whitaker on staff. Next, you've got Team Blank out of Paintball Fit, Gary Andrews, Grant Cardona, Justin Dodrill, Dylan Fussell, Alexis Higgins, Angie Tejeda, and Sean Tenery. Whoa, those are going to be some big names with some pro experience coming in to compete in Division 4 in Texas.
Yes, sir.
And then last but certainly not least, you've got the Texas Titans out of X Factor. You've got Orlando Escobedo, Isaiah Carnes, Brandon Lyons, Ruben Maldonado, Cody Martinez, Colton Russell, Brian Thornton, and Dane Webb, with Josh De Leon and Dylan Strickland on staff. So give me your thoughts on bracket D.
Okay, for me, this is the bracket of death. Okay, it's just, there is a lot of good teams here.
A lot of well-known teams with a lot of history here as well.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just to highlight a couple, I mean, you got Hate Crew, Greed, the Titans. If nothing else, those 3 teams would make it the bracket of death. I mean, this is going to be a hard one.
Man, looking forward to hearing your predictions when we get to that part.
Well, I know whoever, I don't know how many wild cards they're going to wind up taking, but I guarantee you some of the wild cards are going to come out of this bracket right here.
Definitely. All right, bracket E. We've got the Gunners, GNL Crew, Austin Hype, Corrupt Crew, Austin Notorious D4, Cartel, and TKO Valetudo. So the Gunners, GNL Crew. Out of X Factor, you've got Alex Amos, Jamari Faison, Rylan Fontana, Michael Leon Guerrero, Kendrick Lofton, Joseph Lanzetta, dropping down, formerly of Jackpot, Ashton Roller, and Gail Salty, with Eric Amos, John Butler, Arthur Faison, Brian Padilla, Corey Sepulveda, and Jesse Stevens on staff. You've got a lot of pickups kind of spreading out from Jackpot. You saw you saw Cameron Blanco. You saw Shane Scarborough, who was with Jackpot in Tampa. Now you see Joseph Lanzetta. So those guys all spreading out to help out those X Factor lower division teams.
Yeah, they want to play local. You know, it's hard playing just national events only.
Yeah, definitely. Up next, we've got Austin Hype out of Austin, Texas. You've got Boney Alba, Eric Gonzalez, Joseph Hernandez, Devin Johnson, Miles Jones, LaPaul McAllister, Trevor Merkel, Adam Rudisil, and Justin Vasquez. Next, we've got the Corrupt Crew out of Carlsbad, New Mexico. Gabriel Abascal, Israel Esparza, Jairo Guerrero, Bryant Mendoza, Cesar Navarro, Victor Velasquez, and Isaiah Williams. Next, we've got Austin Notorious D4. You got two outlaw teams here together. You've got Bartos Bachniak, Dennis Britton, Gio Cardale, the Boogeyman, Alex Carrion, Leslie Cluis, Chris Isaacs, and Timothy Ray, with Ruben Arroyo Gutierrez, Mark Franz, Jr. and Sr. on staff. Next, we've got Cartel out of Fort Worth, with Zahir Alvarez as their coach. You've got Eli Calvo, Jonathan Gatlin, Ryan Green, Benjamin Herrera, Roberto Herrera, Alexander McDougall, Juan Pacheco, Mauro Rios, Laird Schmaltz, and Tanner Shue, with Jennifer Magana on staff. And finally, you've got TKO Valetudo with Jad Alia, Austin Brown, Katie Heap, Tyler Kvetko, Joseph Labastida, Charles Chuck Neagle, Milton Rivera, and Angel Rivera, with Mark Cantalino on staff. You've got several WNXL pro players guesting on teams in this bracket, so it's going to be very interesting to see them all of these teams that seem to have pulled in some hired guns to come help them out for this event.
Yeah, and TKO even brought in Austin Brown, part of the coaching staff for AC Diesel, and plays on AC Evil, a lot of 10-man stuff. So, again, a lot of experience out here. It's just crazy.
Oh, yeah. I think the team that is going to perform the best is whoever can fully integrate with some of these hired guns that they have.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. How well will you meld at a last minute somebody joining your team?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Getting to our goodness, how many more brackets do we have in D4?
Two more.
Oh boy. So we've got PB Gateway V2, Houston Zone Kids, Cold Blooded, Shut Up or Trying, Hydra Kids. Oh, whoops. And Maui Mixed Plate Gold. This is the one that's going to be having a lot of curious eyes on, I think. So starting with PB Gateway V2, we've got Pritcha Sritong-Suk as their coach. You've got Robert Abitia, Navaris Grant, Jaime Guevara Jr., Bryce Klein, Joshua Napier, Chloe Sereno, Dylan Stanton, John Theodore, and Carson Walker, with Thomas Freeman on staff. Next, you've got the Houston Zone Kids, with Christopher Cormier, Robert Jr. Guerra, Michael Gutierrez, Slade Haymore, Furman Hernandez, Nolan Hua, Avant Knight, Ethan Morel, and Nicholas Niera, with Bull Godfrey and Robert Guerra, Rob G, on staff out of Houston. Next, we've got the Cold Blooded out of Bryan, Texas, which I believe a lot of these are the Texas A&M guys. Yes. So you've got Jason Carter as their coach. You've got Jackson Barfnecht, Maxwell Carter, Perry Chance, Clemente Crispin, Marco Garza, Chris Cortez, Isaac Leja, and Macho Phillips, with Chesney Hurley and Grant Jennings on staff. Next, you've got Shut Up, We're Trying. Coached by Jerry Phillips, as always. James Keller, Taylor King, Matthew Kress, Jarek Lewis, Paul Mart, Andrew O'Neill, Robert P. Butt Ortiz, and Zach Rosen. And Maui Mixed Plate. Let's see. Did I miss a team here? Yeah, I did miss a team. I got it out of order. So we'll actually talk about the Hydra kids first. So you've got Aiden Adkins, Bo Bennett, Braylon DeGrave, Braxton Greer, Kobe Johnson, Hadley Korsman, Caden Korsman, James Martin, and Nicholas Ross. Very young team there. I'm pretty sure all of their ages, if you add them all up, it might be close to your age, Robert.
Pretty close. They're still a little younger than me.
And finally, we've got Maui Mixed Plate Gold coming in from Hawaii. And this team is not one to be underestimated. Trust me. You've got Jonah Berserto, Mitchell Borge, Warren Silario, Mark Domingo, Shane Huntley, Kai Kanamitsu, and Peter Logan. So, very interesting bracket F we've got here, Robert.
Yeah, I think this is going to be that second little bracket of death. Not as probably as bad as bracket D, but this has the potential to not only have two winners, but to also have one of the wild cards come out of this bracket.
I think any of these teams are going to be disappointed when they don't make it out of prelims, and that's all 6 of them.
Yeah, that's really going to be a hard one.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very tight race in bracket F. And finally, in bracket G, man, there's so many 6-team brackets. It really makes things interesting. You've got Countdown City, LA Extreme, D4 Black, Texas Sandin, Contra, Texas Cyclone, and the Border Boys. So starting with Countdown City, you've got Darian Aguilar, Cody Cawley, Andre Flores, Jonathan Gager, Jacob Hurst, Alex Navarro, Joshua Oliva, Jimmy Roman, and Robert Stewart, with Rylan Homier and Paul Homier on staff. Next, you've got the LA Extreme D4 Black out of Slidell. You've got Paul Heads as their coach. You've got Jalawerens Andrews, Johnny Zinzielewski, Guy Jones, Logan Laborde, Grayson Manning, Justin Mattern, Dakota Medina, Chad Mosby, and John Valero, with Peter Johnson, Charles Langlois, Mindy McConnell, and Gurjit Sandhu on staff. Next, you've got Texas Sandin out of DFW Adventure Park. You've got Ryan Bassett, Arda Calisier, Pinyan Chen, Dake Delpy, Dylan Fien, Tony Hendricks, Chance Johnson, and Christian Warner, with Pierre Blackman on staff. Next, you've got Team Contra out of Memphis, Tennessee. Connor Brister, Justin Brister, Michael Colabufo, Hayden Ferrugia, John Florco, Grayson Knight, Austin Talley, and David Williamson, with Kenneth Johnson on staff. Up next, you've got the Texas Cyclone with Antonio Arteaga, Leonel Calagui, Andon Cherry, Juan Gonzalez, Zane Lacombe, Luis Martinez, Aiden Medley, Cole Newman, Mike Romero, Cameron Stiles, and Jacob Thompson, with Hayden Burgess and Tammy Newman on staff. And last but not least, rounding out the entire division, we've got the Border Boys from McAllen, Texas, coached by Brandon Linaldi. You've got Christian Alanis, Zachary Beleza, Ricardo DeLucio, Sean Garcia, Cruz Gonzalez, Angel Hernandez, Daniel Pacheco, and Joaquin Torres. So, bracket G, you've got a lot of youth. A lot of youth.
Yeah, that's going to be this one's probably got the potential to be the wildest, going to see the craziest moves, the most unexpected happenings, because there's a lot of young teams and there's a lot of young players in here.
Definitely. All right. So, we're going to do our best to give our predictions here. I know I sent you my picks for your show on Tuesday, but we'll give some again here, firing from the hip, now that I've gotten to look at who's on all of these rosters. Some of those picks might change from what I gave you earlier on in the week. So yeah, let's start with bracket A. You've got the Gunners, Houston Homicide, Havoc, Countdown City 210, and Elite Dynasty. I'm saying the Gunners all day and twice on Sunday, and Havoc.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. That would be my pick too. Would be the Gunners all day, every day, and have it coming in strong with a second place finish.
Up next, we've got OKC Mutiny, Austin Assault, Outlaw Anodizing Green, the Meanies, and MBR. Man, this one's actually kind of tough for me. I think the OKC Mutiny is a clear favorite here, but as far as the second team out of this bracket, I could see it being a three-way tie at 2-2. But coming out on top, look at these rosters one more time. Coming out on top, give me Outlaw Anodizing Green here.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm going to pick OKC Mutiny and then Austin Assault. Still bitter about them beating me at NXL Texas last year. But they have Bondo, and Bondo's my boy. So I'm going to pick Austin Assault because they accused me of never showing them love. So Austin Assault, you're my pick.
Yeah, and very tight margins there, I think. Bracket C, you've got LA Extreme D4, Austin Oni, Integrity, the Dragoons, and New Orleans Smoke. I'm going to say LA Extreme D4 is going to be a clear number one out of this, and then give me the Dragoons as number two.
Yeah. Is LA Extreme D4, and again, I'm going to pick Austin only because I think Tokyo has been working really, really hard with his guys, and he's trying not to have a heart attack while coaching. So we're going to pick them, but I can see Dragoons very easily moving up the ladder, very easily.
Yeah, and again, that's the Battle of Louisiana there, it seems like, in bracket C.
Yes.
All right, bracket D, we've got a 16 bracket, so I'll give you my top three out of this. So you've got Elite Hate Crew, Greed, TKO, New Mexico Bandits, Team Blank, and the Texas Titans. This, I think, is the toughest bracket in the entire division. Give me... Man.
Come on.
I think in no particular order is what I'm going to have to go with on this one, but I'm going to say Elite Hate Crew, TKO, and the Texas Titans.
Wow, really? Well, I'm going to pick Elite Hate Crew, Texas Titans, and I'm also going to pick Greed just because the return of Landon Brown, former Greed player, nasty Dorito guy. And, you know, I think that's going to really give them some solid backbone. So they're going to really – I think Landon really could be a difference maker out here with them.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that you can definitely make some arguments for all of these teams.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that is no disrespect at all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and not to mention, you know, Team Blank still has 2 WNXL pros coming in with Alexis Higgins and Angie Tejeda.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard, you know, is they've got all these new people. I mean, they got WNXL pros coming in. They have one of my old teammates. They got Sean Tenery out there. But, I mean, Angie herself alone is just going to be a difference maker. But can they support her, and what do they do if she gets eliminated on the break?
One thing with these 16 brackets that I do want to point out, again, going back to the theme of the matchups matter. One, the first seed does not play the bottom seed. So Texas Titans get to dodge the Elite Hate Crew. I think that's going to play very massively in both of those teams' favors, not having to play each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. Matchups matter. Who do you draw? You know, also, when do you play them? Do you play one of the better teams early before they get to learn the layout, or do you play them late in the day where they have a better support staff, can dissect the field better after it's been played? You know, it's not only who you play, but when you play them.
Definitely. All right, bracket E, you've got the Gunners GNL crew, Austin Hype, Corrupt crew, Austin Notorious D4, Cartel, and TKO Volatudo. Man, TKO coming in really throws a wrench into this thing. I'm going to say that the GNL crew is out on top, and then the next two give me Austin Notorious and I'm going to say as my third team, man, I'm really stumped as this third team, but give me Austin Hype.
Yeah, see, that was a close one for me too. But Austin Hype just missed the cut. GNL Crew, Austin Notorious, and TKO Valley Tudo, just because of some of the people they've added to their roster. I mean, you got the most dangerous man in paintball, Chuck Nagel. I'm
Yep.
telling you, that's probably one of the best off the break division shooters there is. So, if you can get a body up on the break, we all know how well that's going to play out for you.
Definitely. Up next, bracket F, you've got PB Gateway V2, Houston Zone Kids, Cold Blooded, Shut Up We're Trying, Hydra Kids, and Maui Mixed Plate Gold. I think Maui Mixed Plate, knowing what I know about this team, having scrimmaged against them, having played against them in the NXL, I think Maui Mixed Plate has a strong chance to win the bracket outright. Behind them, give me the Houston Zone Kids. And then in third, give me, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, but give me Shut Up We're Trying.
Really? Well, I have almost the same picks. I've got Shut Up We're Trying, Maui Mixed Plate Gold, but I have the Hydra Kids, and only because the Hydra Kids, after getting kind of let down the first event, they kind of had a hard lesson learned. They really doubled down and practiced harder. And again, they've got a coach that's going to really demand a lot out of them. I'm pretty sure one of the fit guys is going to be coaching them. I'm not sure. Probably going to be Colt. So we'll see.
We'll see. It's going to be again, competition level is pretty high.
And again, who do you play? You know?
Absolutely. And finally, bracket G. We've got Countdown City, LA Extreme D4 Black, Texas Sandin, Contra, Texas Cyclone, and the Border Boys. Give me LA Extreme D4 Black to win the bracket. After that, who is it that had some of the was it this bracket that had some of the ringers in here? Was it Countdown that pulled in Joseph Lanzetta? No, it was not. So yeah, I still think LA Extreme is going to win the bracket. And then after that, man, this is tough. I do think the Border Boys are going to do well. I think give me them as a wild card. And then let's go with Contra.
Really? Well,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. LA Extreme Black to win, Countdown City to come in second, and the Border Boys as a wild card.
Yeah, I think if there's going to be a bracket where there's some shakeups as far as like the favorites getting upset, it's going to be bracket G.
Yeah. That's going to be a really crazy one.
All right. Now, I know we've got some guys in the chat. We are now getting to the Elite Division, which we have 2 7-team brackets here, which means we have no idea who plays who.
No, we don't.
And yeah, it's just going to be what it is. So this one, I think we're gonna definitely need to spend a little bit more time talking about each roster. And sorry, I as I was talking about the predictions, I forgot to mention that our D4 predictions were brought to us by Colt Roberts, legend of Texas, and his brand Paintball Kumite. So now talking about the Elite brackets and rosters, this is brought to us by Jared Sherman, new San Antonio X Factor pickup, and his website texanhemp.com. So the Elite Division, let's get started. We've got the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army, the TKO Super Gremlins, Balls Out, Beer Cats, BDC, Brick Down Bucks, and PB Gateway. Robert, I think looking at the stats and the plus minuses that was on your show earlier this week, the Elite Division is a very top-heavy division. You've got a couple of teams at the top that just mollywop everybody else, and then it's the rest of the teams trying to fight to get a wild card spot in.
Yeah, and it's really strange how that last one played out with the plus minuses, because you see teams up there that lost, like went 6-1, and the one they lost was, in the playoffs. So there's a real top-heavy part of the thing. It's really top-heavy, and then it kind of evens out amongst everybody else. But that was that layout. That was that roster. That was that day. Will it play out this time?
We shall see. We shall see. Another thing that I think does make a difference is the fact that the Texas Titans all ranked out, and so you've got a top team not there anymore.
Yeah,
so
that
suddenly that creates a vacuum for some of these teams to look to make a jump up into that higher tier.
Yeah, and that's one of those teams right there. When the Titans leave, some of the lower ranked teams don't have to play like two top heavy teams. They might only have to play one, which just ekes them in like 8th place, 7th place, something like that. That really does shift the whole thing.
Definitely. Bobby Kramer asks, how many advances can be the top 3 out of each bracket advance? And with the first place team in each bracket is going to get a bye straight into the semifinals. So let's talk about these rosters. First, we've got the defending champions, the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army, coming in from Florida, coached by Cyrus Gehringer. You've got Hayden Barnwalt, Michael Buchanan, James Caspers, Nathaniel Combs, Hudson Dunphy, Kyle Enriquez, Jet Isidro, James Rigsby, Jacob Robertson, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Jonathan Turner, and Christopher Wells, with Bobby Sayedeth, Shane Scarborough, and Dan Strickland on staff. Man, they're the defending champs. They've got some absolutely star-studded power on their team. Most notably, the MVP from the last one, Jet Isidro, put on a clinic.
Yeah, Jetski, man, what a guy, man. He really, there's a reason. He plays for Shock, semi-pro, and he lit the place up. And then you got Jonathan Turner and you got James Capers. I called them giants on the webcast last time, and they were like literally listening to it in the pits. And then they braced me up in the vendor area, and they're like, hey, we have names. So trust me, I will never forget James or Jonathan's name ever again.
Hey, they earned it, right? So we'll see
who's
coming to knock them off.
Humphrey too, Hudson's playing for them, and then they're coached by Cyrus, who is a Florida boy himself.
Yep, they've got everything going for them at this one. They're definitely the defending champs for a good reason. Up next, we've got the TKO Super Gremlins, coached by Colt Lukow. You've got Alex Augusto, Jace Boyd, Mark Brown, Elliot Ocon, Omar Simmons, Jel Stewart, Peter Stokes, and Ernesto Vasquez coming in from Shut Up or Trying semi-pro team. And then Malik Sawalha on staff.
Yeah, this is another good roster. Ernesto Vasquez, been around a little bit. Great one-on-one players, pulled out several tournaments and several matches for them. Jel Stewart, ancient player himself, great paintball mind. Omar Simmons is one of my favorite guys to watch in the Snake. He has very good reads. And, of course, there is a close personal friend of mine, Jace Boyd, who's probably got the lowest body fat content of anybody in paintball. I think it's like at -1.
Yeah, this is the team that knocked the Titans out in the playoffs at the last one. This is a very disciplined team. Their play style is going to be, hey, we're going to shoot our lanes. And we're going to see if you can run faster than a paintball.
Yeah, and these guys and the team that we're going to talk about next, Balls Out, are two of the teams that when you talk amongst the pundits don't get a lot of respect, and yet they still show up. They finished second last year in the USXBL championships. These guys, they're always there every time, always in the conversation. And I think it's about time they get a little bit of respect put on their name.
Yeah, I think part of it as well, you got to mention the coaching of Colt Lukow.
Oh, well, you cannot underscore, enough how having a quality coach will improve your team. You just can't. And again, Colt's one of the best at doing what he does.
For sure. All right. Up next, we've got Balls Out. I think stylistically quite the opposite of TKO. Coming out of the Valley, you've got only 6 players on this. I think this is going to be pretty tough. You've got Hector Andrade, Emmanuel Castillo, Eric Contreras, Steven Enslow, Emmy Flores, and Leo Schmidt. Emmy coming in from the Texas Demolition semi-pro team. But yeah, 6 players is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, and the last event, when they finally figured out after the first or second match, Eric Gutierrez played the middle of that last layout better than anybody else all day. He was up in the middle, just wrecking shop. Problem was they ran a small roster then. They all started getting tired, and people started figuring out what they were doing, and they didn't find that second gear. I think this time, after a conversation with them, I think they've learned a little bit. They're going to play it a little different, try not to shoot all their missiles early, but we'll see. I'm excited.
I mean, they're going to have to adjust if they're only running 6. I know the Valley style, they like to run places off break often. Can you do it with 6 over the course of an entire tournament? We'll see what the layout allows.
Let's go.
Up next, we've got the Bearcats coming out of Louisiana, coached by Clint Johnson here. Again, another light line. You've got Hunter Dean, Logan Heath, Justin Carney, Nathaniel Newton, Matt Pelto, and Jacob Plaisance. Notably, you don't have Matt and Justin Hodges attending this one. I believe Matt said that Justin is graduating this weekend. So congratulations to you, Justin. Also, the winner of the Hormesis Elite 1v1 finale.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big piece missing from this roster, but Matthew Pelto is definitely a solid addition to try and plug that hole.
Yeah, that's going to be a lost player. You see him sprinkled out all over the place. Matthew Pelto is definitely a dangerous person. And Hunter Dean's no slouch himself, so that'll be really good. I can't wait to see this one.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. Matt Pelto was he was the Titans. I thought he was the Titans' best player at the last USXBL. So let's see if he can keep it up for this one, especially when they're going to be running pretty thin line and going to rely on him pretty heavily.
Yeah, they're going to be running thin line. They're going to really have to tighten their belt.
For sure. All right. Up next, we've got BDC, coached by Trenton Mason Salinas. You've got Jared Borgiois. I don't know how to say his last name. I just need to talk to him about it. I don't know if he's one of those guys that say bourgeoisie or anything like that. Or bourgeois, I don't know. But you got Jared, you got Luca Iwama, Matthew Jenkins, Brendan Oglesby, Alec Pisoni, Brandon Powell, and Matt Pregel, and Colin Stewart, with Mark Boyd, Ben Challenger, and Joseph Labastida on staff.
Yeah, these guys, current and for the past several years, been a fit staple out there at practices. They play the XTPL series. They're always doing good. Colin Stewart, Jill Stewart's son. Brandon Powell, very, very good player. I mean, this is a team that can show up and win the game, right? And with Trent Mason in their corner, I look for them to play a very aggressive style.
Definitely. Trent Mason, I think he was like the kill count leader, is like the #1 overall player as far as the stats went from Atlantic City. I know Scott Stewart ended up winning the 1v1 and got the golden barrel, got the clean sweep, but the numbers don't lie for Trent Mason. I thought he was, I made the comparison to, he's kind of like the Tim Duncan of Paintball Fit.
Yeah, exactly. But he is the current kill count leader, not just of his team, but of the league. All
right. Up next, we've got the Bricktown Bucks out of Oklahoma City. You've got Christopher Davis, Derek Fine, Tyler Hitt, Adam Jester, Ryan Powers, Landon Roney, Dennis Stevenson, and Aaron White, staffed by John Hubbard, and Scott Stewart's going to be coaching this one.
Yeah, that's surprising because Scott's in the XTPL has played a lot with the BDC guys or played with the Beefy Boy guys. So I'm really kind of surprised to see him stepping away and going and coaching the Bricktown Bucks. But John Hubbard, who happens to own Avid Extreme Sports Park, both north and south, is a really good talker. So he probably talked Scott into it. So I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
Definitely. All right. The last one we've got is PB Gateway, coached by Pritcha Schritzonsuk. You've got Luke Bedor, Tanner Carlson, Jess Eastwood, Nick Philby, Josh Garza, Chris Harrison, Thinwen, Chris Rangel coming in, guessing with them, and Larry Tran with Isaac Espinoza on staff.
Yeah, the big news here is Chris Rangel, his team, the Trash Can Pandas, had to, for whatever reason, had to pull out. So Chris said, you know what? I'm looking for somebody to pick me up. And looky here, what happens? PB Gateway said, hey, we got a spot for you. So for y'all who have not seen him play, he's dropped about 50 pounds. So Look out. It's going to be good.
Yeah, Chris is going to be coming out, and I think surprising a lot of people. That's a very solid pickup there.
That is.
With a long history in the game. So that is bracket A for the Elite Division. We'll get to our picks here in a little bit. I think something to note there, you've got a lot of Paintball Fit Pro players on the coaching roster for most of those teams.
And it matters to these guys. Trust me. If you're coaching that team, you want to beat your counterpart coaching another team. These fit guys, the competition amongst themselves is as high as anything else.
Oh, yeah. All right. So getting to bracket B, first off, we've got Grit out of San Antonio's X Factor Paintball Park, coached by Brandon Peters. As always, you've got Pierce Comio, Nick Gomez, Aaron Hitchcock, Dallas Luke, Taylor Risenmay, Jonathan Trevino, another jackpot split here, and then Ryan Wynn with Anthony Bowles on staff here.
Yeah. And again, picking up another jackpot player, throwing him in there with Aaron Hitchcock and Dallas Luke. Again, this team is going to be rough to beat. Trust me, they're going to be hard.
One notable thing that I don't see Anthony Bosman's on this roster. He was their go-to player in the Snake for Grit. So I'm curious if he's not going to be there. What's going to be their next person? Do they put John Trevino in there to replace him? We'll see what their approach is.
Yeah, that would be my guess, but I don't quote me on that because you never know with these guys because they'll pull something out of their hat.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What's a legacy roster page here? I'm just going to look at everybody's points. Okay. Gotcha. I was curious if we were going to see Anthony somehow make the jump to player on that roster, but I think his points are too high. So up next, we've got Elite Audio, Video, and Lighting, coached by Greg Pauly. You've got David Bible, Charlie Christie, Justin Doman, Gerald Garcia, Rory McQuality, Gabian Mundo, Hogan Pearson, Luke Staley, Cody Zapata, and Jeremy Zimmerman, with Mark Baginski, Candace Doman, Daniel Estrada, Courtney Jekyll, Mark Johnson, and Alexandria Richards all on staff. Man, this is a team with a lot of big names, both on the roster and on staff.
Wow. And the thing is, the history, the paintball experience here, from Jeremy Zimmerman and Bad Kitty all the way to Rory and Storm and Gerald Garcia, with the Oakland Assassins, Justin Dolan, AC Dallas, David Bible, Texas Phalanx. Man, I mean, this is loaded, and they just got Gaben Mundo back. He's going to be able to play this thing, so it's going to loosen up Luke Staley to play different spots. With Cody Zapata, this is a strong team.
Yeah, the question mark that I want to say here is the health of Jeremy Zimmerman. I know he got injured at the last one. I know he's been posting kind of his updates as he's recovered from that injury. And Jeremy, he's going to play regardless. So at what percentage are we going to be seeing him?
Well, the word I got is he is 100% healthy. Now, let's take that with a grain of salt. Jeremy he'll be at 85% and say he's 100. But allegedly, he's at 100%.
All right. Well, I think we're going to see him on the field regardless.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Up next, we've got the Outlaw Anodizing Sharks, coached by Kaito Warner. Interesting. So we've got Cade Blackwelder, David Cuervo, Miles Mascariello, David Rashford, Joseph Scalia, Sebastian Viesas, and Zach Williams, with Scott Perkins on staff.
Yeah, and David Cuervo just came over from Cold-Blooded Predators, or Cold-Blooded in D4, which was a big blow to them because he's their snake guy, or depending on field layout, their snake side and middle of the field. And so he's a strong player, a great pickup for the Sharks. So I think this is going to be a good one. I think they're going to be strong. Can they support him? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll certainly see. And I think this is Kaito Warner's first time going to be coaching in the USXBL. So we shall see how his coaching style adjusts here. I know he has been playing. I believe he's been playing with Outlaw Anodizing Semi-Pro.
Yes.
He's on the New Orleans Hurricanes pro roster again.
Oh, okay.
So he's back. He's back in the pro division. So, all right. Up next, we've got the Beefy Boys with Gabe Sutherland listed as their coach. You've got AJ Abar, Daniel Diaz-Quirolo, Cameron Peterson, Henry Portillo, Tyler Sheppers, Patrick Simons, Will Bad Guy Weems, and Zach Wilkes
Yeah, now this one, everybody knows these are my boys. This is a team. 2010, I started, and then I stepped away, and then they resurrected the name. But you got Turtle, Zach Willis, you got the bad guy, then you got Patrick Simons that came over from Shut Up. The return of Tyler Shepers, Henry Portillo, again another one, and then the captain of all captains, Cameron Peterson, and then Daniel and AJ. Man, this is a strong team. They've only been together this year because it's a bunch of people from different teams. The only one that was necessarily beefy boy last year was Tyler and Cameron. Everybody else has kind of been a recent last 6 month add-on, but they start to seem to gel, and looking at practice, man, they're looking really sharp.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, they made the playoffs as a new roster together. And that they've been putting in the work, so they're only going to be stronger. And of course you got Luke and Thorne on staff as well.
Yeah, I was going to say you have 3 D2 guys that really built that program. You got Gabe, Luke, and Thorne. So, and I'll be quite honest with you, I would not want to go out there and mess up if Thorne's in the pits, because you're going to hear it, and you're not going to like what you hear.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I want to point out, thank you, chat, for the correction. Matt Hodges let us know that Kaido Warner was actually at the last USXBL as well. So thanks for that correction, Matt, and Mr. Run Faster in the chat. So up next, we've got Cap City Charge out of Austin, Texas. You've got Nick Pasiek as their coach, with Donovan Chapa, Adam Dipple, Mark Guerra, David Hegelson, River Lacey, Clifford Largent, and Morgan Mills, with Vicky Dipple, Gideon Dipple, Joe Enzo, and Belle Harris on staff. So notably, their leader, Joe Enzo, went through, I believe, a torn ACL, and he just had surgery. He's in recovery. We'll see if he even makes the trip to this one. But that is a big change that they had to adjust to at the last event. Bringing in Mark G for this one, to help them with a little bit of experience. So we'll see how Cap City can kind of move forward with trying to identify a new style without Enzo on the field.
Yeah, and got to give them credit. They did really well last year in D4, decided to make the bump up to Elite. And that is a big canyon to jump across. I mean, if you look at some of these teams, there is decades of paintball experience in this division, so it's no easy feat. So props to them. I really give them a lot of credit.
For sure. All right, up next, we've got Elite out of Lubbock. Coached by Chris Vandervald, you've got Lawson Benedict, Doug Bryant, Hunter Cherry, Kyle Coulter, Charles Dean, Nick Myers, Benji Schrader, and Connor Varley, with Sam Chapler and Andrew Tressel on staff.
Yeah, and this is another one of those teams. Doug Bryant's got his guys. I mean, he brought in Charles Dean, who's a definite threat up the middle, plays with Team Max. He plays with these guys all the time. Nicholas Myers, again, very well-known name. Chris, like you said earlier, has been improving his coaching, doing a lot. They won San Antonio a year and a half ago. So, again, and they've been in the finals a couple times, but, this last first event, they kind of fell off a little bit. So they're hungry to move back.
Absolutely. All right. The final team in the Elite Division is Gangster out of Houston. We've got Juan Galaves, Patrick Garcia, Isaac Hernandez, Travis Longmore, Isaiah Moore, Raymond Pascua, and Kenneth Wilcox. So this team entering the Elite Division, let me triple check before I misspeak here. I don't believe they were at the first USXBL. So entering, let's see, season rankings. So yeah, correct. Gangster was not present at the last USXBL, so this is going to be their first time in the division. And man, there are no easy teams in the Elite Division, period. So they're going to have to come prepared.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, we lost the Texas Titans. We lost the Donut Shop Mafia. So that's 2 vacuum holes right there that's going to really kind of throw a wrench into where everybody winds up.
Yeah, one thing I do want to say, like, these guys are mostly ranked D4. You've got one player ranked D5 and one player who this is his first event. So this is going to be a rough wake up.
Yeah, it is. But back in the day, that was how you learned. You stepped to the biggest dog in the thing. You took your lumps, you learned, and if you were lucky, you impressed somebody enough that they'd come give you a little bit of advice and share their knowledge. So let's hope that's what happens here.
Oh yeah. All right. So that does it as far as going through all of the rosters. We made it through all 98 teams. Let me get my screen share. I believe that dropped down. All right. So now to give our predictions for the Lone Wolf Open in the Elite Division. Give me your top three, because it's going to be the top three that move on. So I'm going to let you go first this time. Give me your picks on bracket A.
Bracket A. Well, I'm gonna kind of just simp out a little bit, and I'm gonna say that the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army, TKO Super Gremlin, and Balls Out are going to be the top three, with a slight possible chance of BDC switching out with one of those teams. But I think it's going to be Ragtag, Gremlins, and Balls Out.
Yeah, I think this bracket is a little interesting. You've got a lot of teams with one or two guys that they're pulling in from elsewhere. Gulf Coast is by far and away the favorites. I think that TKO is going to be a strong second. They're fundamentally sound. They're well coached. And then the question is, it's going to be a fight for the 3 seed, and it's going to be in large part on which two teams do not have to play Gulf Coast.
Yeah, and Balls Out's got another hard thing to do with only running 6 people. Again, can they contend with the layout that comes out? If this layout's wide open and a lot of running, will they be able to keep up?
Yeah, I don't know. And with Bearcats losing, such a key player in Justin Hodges on this one, how is their style going to adjust? How is Matthew Pelto going to be plugging into that roster? I think Gulf Coast, again, clear and distant first place. TKO, second place. The third place is going to be strongly dependent on who doesn't play Gulf Coast. And I'm probably going to leave it at that.
Yeah, but that's fair, because again, like you said, I think it's, if you look at the rosters and look at the last event, Gulf Coast is by far and away the favorite to win the bracket.
For sure. All right. So looking at bracket B, you've got Grit, Evil, Outlaw Anodizing Sharks, Beefy Boys, Cap City Charge, Elite, and Gangster. So again, the matchups matter. Will Grit and Evil play each other? Will they not play each other? Will there be teams that only have to play one of them? Will there be teams that have to play both?
Yeah, that really will determine who comes out of this bracket more than anything else.
And on top of that, I do think Gangster, if you are matched up with Gangster, you have to take that opportunity as far as your 4 prelim games. Because if let's say you're a team that has to play Grit and Evil, but you have Gangster on your schedule, that has to be a game that you win, and you win big.
Oh, yeah. You have to pad your margin as much as you possibly can. And, again, no disrespect to Gangster, but, again, when you start looking at the talent here versus what's coming up here, it's pretty obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Anything can happen. They got a puncher's chance.
Yeah, I think so. Knowing that there are 2 teams that you will not play if you're a team in this bracket, if you are the team that somehow manages to not play Grit or Evil, man, you've got to take advantage of that opportunity. So I'm giving Grit and Evil as my top 2. And my third one, man, if all of these teams were to all play against each other, I think my third pick would be the Beefy Boys. But again, it's going to be very largely dependent on the matchups that you get.
Yeah, that's going to be my picks right there. It's going to be Grit, Elite Audio, and the Beefy Boys. And only because I think the Beefy Boys have come together more. They're running a deeper roster than the Sharks. So the biggest thing is with the Beefy Boys is, can they stay cohesive as a team? And if something does go wrong, we know they will, can they not self-implode? Because I think the only thing that's going to keep the beefy boys out is, again, if you have to play both grit and evils, and it makes it even harder, but can you not shoot yourself in the foot? So that's who I would think: grit, evil, and the beefy boys.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, there's just like I said, there's going to be one team that probably doesn't have to play grit or evil. There's probably going to be another team that has to play both of those teams and doesn't get to play gangster.
Yeah, so that's going to be, when you, and I can already hear it now. Oh, why did we get this draw? This sucks, blah, blah, blah. If you think you're the best team out there, it doesn't matter who you play. You get up on the box, you go shoot the guys, and go win early.
Yep, for sure. All right, so those elite predictions were brought to us by 71 Designs. We're going to briefly mention, let's see, what else do we got in here? We've got Division 6 3-man. Am I on the right thing? There we go. It looks like they took down the oh wait, no, there we go. So Division 6 3v3, we're just going to mention the team names here. We're not going to go through the rosters. I think we've been going for over 2 hours at this point, so we're going to just name the teams, start to wrap things up. So in Division 6 3v3, we've got the Texecutioners by PB Gateway. And let me do this. There we go. All right, so we got the Texecutioners by PB Gateway, LA Extreme, PB Gateway Goonies, Texas Misfits A, Get Shanked, Chaos Boars, Houston Hitters, Texecutioners Red by PB Gateway, and the Meanie 71. Over in Bracket B, you've got Riv Squids, West Texas Chaos, Vibe Check, Texas Misfits B, Houston Meanies, Centex Intensity, LA Extreme White, Lone Star Mercs, TKO Big Steppas Incorporated, and Vibe Check 2. So that that was brought to us by Hydra. Those are the D6 teams. And that does it, Robert. So any final thoughts heading into the weekend?
I'm looking for this weekend to probably be kind of crazy. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. We're going to a new park. We're going over here to Giant Party Sports out in Murphy. So that's great. We're looking to see a bunch of new teams from Tennessee, Florida, Hawaii, New Mexico, Oklahoma. So, and I'm really looking forward to exciting paintball and an exciting layout. I'm fingers crossed that this is a really active field.
Yeah, we shall see. It's going to be going to be very interesting. I know that last year's second event, you had the kind of the giant X of snake beams going through the center of the field. So,
yeah.
We could see something just as wild.
Well, here's hoping.
Yep. All right. So, Robert, this brought to us by Carlos Get That Shot. I'm not sure if he's going to be present at USXBL, but if not, then he's going to be getting ready for the NXL Cincinnati event. Hit him up on Instagram, @get_that_shot. If you're needing media coverage at any of these upcoming events, reach out to him. So, Robert, is there anybody that you think deserves more recognition for what they're doing as of late?
Well, I think that I want to kind of give a shout out to Wade Martin of the Dallas Meanies. He's brought in more new players than probably anybody recently. He's branched out into Houston, and now they have the Houston Meanies. So he's doing a real lot. Plus, he's trying to work with the kids. And I think that Wade from 71 Designs also is just needs a little recognition.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Wade. He's bringing a lot of new players in, and they're sticking around, which means that's the kind of environment that you want to have for a team.
Absolutely. I think and that's the most important thing. I mean, he started out from scenario to 3-man, and he had several lines of 3-man, and now he has 3-man, D5X ball, several teams, D4X ball, and he's only getting bigger. He wants more.
All righty. So I think that does it. This final question brought to us by the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man, which after this weekend, you've got the Splat Zone 3-man next weekend. You've got Open 3v3 X ball. So if you're not quite satisfied with how USXBL goes, well, you can go play some open 3v3 X-ball next weekend, and open division. You can put whoever you want on that team. Down in San Antonio, we saw a roster that had Diego Santos, Geronimo, and Nico Hyde. So 2 current Tauntaun FSU players and Nico Hyde all playing together, and they didn't win. Didn't even make the finals. So like anything can happen in this open X-ball format. All right. So Robert, do you have any last shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
I'd just like to thank everybody that tunes in to watch this show. I think Christian does an amazing job. And I think more people need to like, subscribe, and share. The more we talk about paintball, the more it's going to grow. And I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. And I'll see you this weekend. Everybody, that does it for our show. Be sure to go follow the USXBL on Instagram and on Facebook. Stay tuned for the live coverage. They live stream all of their fields on Facebook and also on the USXBL YouTube channel. So what other guests would you like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Central here on youtube.com/@Major League Paintball. And recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner and sponsor tier subscribers on Patreon. Get That Shot, Paintball Kumite, BEM Raps, Hydra, XTPL Events, Mariachi Aguilas de Oro, the San Antonio 3v3 Series, 71 Designs, TexanHemp.com, QBRofficial.com, and the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man series. Lastly, I want to give a major shout out to Major League Paintball. Thank you once again for hosting In the Pits here on this channel, bringing the coverage for our Texas region out to the masses. So yeah, that does it. Robert, thank you again for coming on, getting through this over 2-hour marathon here that we had, and we will see you guys next week for episode 146.
See y'all all this weekend.